Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock and welcome to a new playthrough. I have created a new character. This is a Sentinel, a storm slash electricity Sentinel called Dr. Cyclone. He is technology, so he invented a storm suit. I haven't written the whole origin, but he's like a tech guy and he invented a storm suit, and so all of his powers come from his suit. So they better never take his suit away from him. But we shouldn't see that. This isn't Champions. You can't actually have your powers taken away. So we're doing Storm, is it called Storm Blast and Electric Armor. So we've got our first toggle charged armor, which is a resistance set. So we have energy and smashing resistance from that. And then there are going to be other resistances that come in, and some endurance and some other stuff. I was going to do electric attacks, but Storm sounds so much cooler. So there's a power down the middle here called Storm Cell. You lay it out. Actually, um, my the new girl from my RPG who played with us a little bit, she did Storm slash, can't remember what, Corruptor. And so she did Storm Blast and I guess Storm Summoning or whatever Corruptor, whatever it is that does O2 boost. And so I know because she hit me with O2 boost a few times. And so she was talking about this storm cell and how it works, and it was really cool special effects. I'm like, all right, I want to see how this thing works. It sounds cool. So here we go. We're starting in the tutorial. I always start in this one because this is the classic tutorial for City of Heroes. And obviously this guy's going to get flight because he controls storms and stuff. And I don't know if we're going to be able to put some kind of electrical type of special effects on the flight. I'm going to have to see what options there are. We're probably going to get hover as well. We'll get that later on, but we're going to want to hover over the bad guys and make it harder for them to melee us. And the storm cell is going to be a lot of fun. And then this thing is a special ability for the Sentinels. By analyzing the weakness of your enemy, you make them vulnerable to attacks and detection. This power does not stack with the other Sentinels. That means I can't throw it and another Sentinel throws it, another Sentinel throws it, and it stacks. So this is going to make them less resistant to damage, endurance debuffs, to hit debuffs, I guess, and various mez attacks. So we're going to have to remember to throw that. I don't remember... No, I was going to say I don't remember my the new girl talking about this, but she wasn't a Sentinel. She was a Corruptor. So she wouldn't have had that ability. She had the corruption ability, which like increases the damage when you're doing, like I think when you have a dot on it, it also does more damage or something like that. I haven't done a Corruptor in a long time. All right, so we're going to talk to Professor Hoffman and then Lieutenant McReady. This guy tells us about Khan. We're not going to bother with that, explaining that here, because if you guys want to see that, again, go watch my Silver Phoenix playthrough. That does all of the explanation and the tutorializing. So when does this come into play? What's the target of this? Target type enemies. So why can't I use it on that guy? Do I have to be closer? Chain 15-foot jump. Enemies will not notice this. It's a click power. Huh. I don't remember this from my old Sentinel. It's been a long time since I played her. Maybe the drones don't count? Let's see if I can do it to one of these guys. No. That's really interesting. So what is the story here? By analyzing the weakness, this power does not stack. Ranged foe minus resist all. It says click, target type enemies, range 100 feet. Huh. Well, I'm going to have to figure out how to use this thing, because I'm not sure. Unless they have to target me first? Nope, it's not activating, so I don't know. Interesting. Punch. I like this hailstones, that's cool. I like how it's what in City of Hero and Champions that would be called an indirect attack, right? Because it doesn't come from my body, it comes from above. That is pretty cool. New contact, Sergeant Hicks. Yeah, I'm psyched about this character. I love the various storm special effects and the electrical special effects. Man, there's such good visual effects in this game. And one thing I will say about the ranged characters is some of their effects are have a little more of a wow factor than a lot of the melee effects, although there are some really good melee effects too, of course. Oh, interesting. Now it's working. Oh, I see. I see. This works like domination. Got it. All right, so let me explain it. I didn't notice the bar because I'm a fool. All right, so this bar is opportunity. When opportunity is high enough, you can click this, and it will work. And so with domination, fury is this way as well. With domination, for a dominator, it gets up to a certain point, and then when it's up high enough, you click it, and then you can dominate for a certain period of time. So that's what this is going to be, something I'm going to want to build up and then use against bosses, I think. So we're definitely going to need another attack right away. And we're going to want recharge on this hailstones. So this hailstones, let's take a look at this one. This hailstones does, in addition to damage, it could possibly knock them down. I don't know why it says knock instead of knock down, but it could possibly knock them down. It's doing cold damage. It doesn't do any smashing, it does just pure cold. That's actually quite good, because not that many things have resistance to cold. Now, one of the things, I was looking at these powers that is different. Some of them do cold, some of them do other stuff. This guy is not going to be able to stack slow the way an ice character would. And I thought about ice. I was very close to picking ice, because I like ice. Ice is cool, and I like that it slows enemies, and it's very useful in a ranged character to use ice, and because you can kite them, and they can't catch up to you because they're running in slow motion after you hit them a couple times. And their powers don't recharge as much. It's a really good set. Doing cold is very useful. It's very effective. But and not a lot of things have defense against cold, against speed debuffs. They have a lot of them have mez defense against holds and stuns and stuff, but not that many have defense against, have like protection against slow. So you can really, mess up a group of enemies with cold. But that's not what this character is designed to do. So now you can see our little, I'm going to call this domination over and over again. Vulnerability. I don't like that name because it makes it sound like I'm vulnerable, but I'm not vulnerable. They are. So we've got it maxed out now, which is why it's lit up, but we're going to wait till we get to the end and we'll use it at the end. So this must light up from doing your regular attacks. Oh, missed. The Flower Knight will help me out. I really like her. She's a cool design. I like that little headdress. I've used that before in several of my characters. Silver Phoenix has it. Bio, my plant dominator, had it as well. By the way, speaking of, this character has a name, Dr. Cyclone. He is named after a character that I played in beta, in the open beta. I started with my martial arts character, martial arts super reflex. I played her a little bit, and then I was like, nope, spoiler. This is spoilers. May as well use this. Oh, cool. It worked on both of them. So it does more damage to them now because they're vulnerable. And it can chain. So that's pretty cool. I like it. But I don't think this should be called vulnerability. I think it should be called penetration or something. Because it's like my attacks are penetrating them more. Vulnerability makes it sound like I'm vulnerable, which I'm not. They are. Right? So it should be called something else, I think. Alright, so we finished that mission. Are we gaining XP? No. Why does it keep doing this? Every time I come into this mission, it stops gaining XP. Why? How is this the default? I keep forgetting to check it, too. So now I'm going to have to go get level up wandering around Atlas Park, which is really annoying. Alright, let's level up. Find some level 1s and beat them up. Level 1s, I said, not level 3s and 4s. Yeah, level 1s. I like that knockdown, that's cool. This guy has some nice mezzes and stuff. See if we can chain this again. Yeah, there we go. Alright, we need some AoEs for sure. Because once you've chained the vulnerability, you're going to want to hammer them. There we go, gaining some XP now, finally. Okay, what happened? Weren't there yellow cons over here? Is this doing the thing again where their mobs are spawning and despawning? Hey, we chained it. Looks good. I love that knockback. So what's going to happen is all of my really cool powers, like the stuff that it does where it does knockdowns and stuff, that stuff is all going to do more when they're inside a storm cell. That is a fun power. I like that power. Alright, one more and we should level up and then we'll be where we're supposed to be. I don't want to fight a lieutenant right now, if I can avoid it. There we go. We'll just grab this guy. There we go. Leveled up. And I'll ignore. I know I'm aggroing them probably, but we'll just come over here. There are drones. They'll stop them. Right here. Alright. So let's go to Miss Liberty, who's here, and we'll grab a little history icon or whatever. And we'll go here and level up. Good deal. Train up to a new level of power. Next level. So Jetstream is a cone. Okay. But I don't think it does damage, does it? Oh, it does some damage. That does smashing damage. Gust does single target. Let's do the cone. Because I said I wanted an AoE, so let's grab it. And we got a rocket pack, which we can use for movement. I don't know, where am I going to put this? I feel like this needs to go here. Put the rocket pack in the middle, I guess. This I don't need. This goes up here. And then we'll pop this over here, and Brawl comes back here, because we now have 3 ranged attacks. Oh yeah, we have these enhancements too, right? And delete. I don't use these. Don't need that. And there's no point to keeping that. I guess I should have sold those, huh? Alright. Let's go to Rick Davies. This guy is definitely... Oh, maybe he's a tech guy. Maybe I should get him... Maybe his special effect shouldn't be like lightning flight. Maybe it should be some kind of a jetpack. since he is a tech guy. And I should get some kind of lightning running, too, for sprint. I'm going to have to play around with the visual effects. Alright, so let's get a sprocket from Sarah Peters. So I think we're going up against clocks, which might be okay for us. We have energy resistance, and they do smashing and energy, and we resist both of their attacks, so we might be really good against clocks. Clockwork's one of my more favorite factions. I'm telling you guys, I might have to try and convince my best friend to play Champions 4th Edition. I wonder if he would find it appealing or not that that my interest in doing Champions would be to kind of... Oop, are we being ambushed? Are you guys ambushing me? What's going on here? I mean, cool, but you're going to get hurt. Alright, now let's see if I can cone these guys. Of course not, because it's an AoE, so it misses. Just like all AoEs in City of Heroes. So annoying. Just like Shadow Maul, it's basically ranged Shadow Maul. Or is it ranged at all? I don't think so. It's PB-AoE. There we go. And that knocked him back, and then... boop, and we missed again. Yeah, back to the missing. Back to the missing, guys. Oh, you know what we have to do? Hang on. Set the difficulty. Solo bosses, yes. Team size 1, we got. Adjust levels, no. Solo AVs, elite bosses. Yeah, just to make sure that it'll give me elite bosses and not arch villains, but also I want to make sure that it gives me bosses in missions. And as long as we're zooming past Atlas, let's come on up here. There's a badge, an Explorer badge right there. And there's an Explorer badge right there. And there's some inside City Hall that I didn't grab as well. So we got our badges started, guys. We're just starting. That's all the badges we have so far. Oh gosh, I feel sorry for players who are using my architect missions. My architect missions were designed to test how long it takes to fight blues, whites, reds, and purples with one of my characters, so I can't imagine anybody wanting to play those missions. Sorry to those of you who've been playing them. Alright, so we're going to start with some vulnerability. We chained it to 2 of them. Now we're going to boop. Alright, we pushed some of them back. We hurt one. This is cool. I'm enjoying this. This new character. It's always fun to start a new character, guys. It's super fun. Got him. Cool. I am having fun with this character. This is neat. Not sure what I'm going to do with my tray. I'm probably going to... I don't know if I'm going to need break freeze once we get the Mez defense, which comes in where... Oh wait, let's not look at this stuff yet. Let's actually fight these guys. Back away. There you go. One nice thing about clocks is they are fairly vulnerable to KB. They don't resist it. But I'm going to have to like retrain myself in the idea of kiting and stuff because I'm so used to... Wait, that's it? That's weird. I'm so used to just jumping in and punching and getting up close and personal with enemies. There's got to be more. There's no more clocks? How'd they all come out here? I guess somehow maybe they were on patrol and they came after me? I don't know. Cool. And now we have to go to his second warehouse. So So yeah, as I was saying, I'm so used to like diving in and punching people in the face. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get used to not doing that. I'll figure it out eventually, but there are probably going to be a lot of times. Oh, crap, you know what else I got to get used to? Things can see me. I'm used to just right past the guys that are red and purple cons and not worry about them because of my stalker. I got to watch out. Things can see me now. Okay. We're going to try to make this guy vulnerable because he is a lieutenant. And the other guys are going to aggro to me, aren't they? I also don't have a self-heal yet, which I'm used to having. It's going to take me a while to get used to playing a first-level character, second-level character again. Let's see how long it takes me to faceplant, guys. I was 10th level or something? This is really weird that we have these really tiny missions. I don't remember these at all. I mean, I guess I haven't played a tech in a long time. Alright, so we gotta go back to City Hall, which is right here, and we gotta train up. We're gonna make slots. Oh, recharge. Okay, we might put that on. Slots. Yes, I'm going to do health and stamina on this character. I do it on every character, so just be aware. Alright, even slotting one here, one here. And then recharge. I'll put on hailstones. Okay, back to our contact. I'm having a blast, guys. I mean, I was having a blast with Dark Phantom, of course. I loved playing that character, but I played her for a long time, for several solid months, 3-4 solid months, every single day, just her. I almost never switched characters, and although I loved playing her, it's nice to have a little bit of a change. You're not going to see every minute of this character the way you saw almost every minute of Dark Phantom. I'm not trying to prove a point here with yes, you can solo this character all the way up to 40 or 50 or whatever. We're just going to play for fun, and when I have something to say or something I think is going to be interesting for you guys to watch, we will do it. First few levels, I think, are always interesting, at least till we get to double digits. And I'll show you as I do different slotting and switching from DOs to SOs and that sort of thing. I'm going to do the same thing I always do, guys, so let me just lay it out for you on episode 1, because a number of people were asking questions in later episodes of Dark Phantom. Why aren't you slotting this way? Why aren't you slotting that way? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? Some of the stuff that is done as a standard thing to do by a lot of players in COH, I don't do. And well, I don't do them because you couldn't do them in launch, and I like getting a launch experience out of COH. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do that. It does some pretty good damage now with the vulnerability going. So let me explain what I'm doing and why. This way, hopefully there will be fewer questions. Not that I mind questions, but people were asking me stuff in comments of videos that I had shot a month earlier, and so I was shooting, season 2, episode 10, and they were asking questions in season 1, episode 9, and it takes a long time to answer that, for them to get their answer, right? And so I don't want to make you wait too much. So let's talk about slotting and slotting logic and how I do this. Um, so attack powers that do damage. Assuming they do damage as a primary thing, I always 6-slot them. I generally give them 1 to 2 accuracy, 1 recharge or endurance, and then triple damage. There's always going to be triple damage on it. There will probably always be a recharge on it. The question is whether I want to do double accuracy or single accuracy, single endurance. Often I start with 1 of each because characters at this level without stamina slotted and stuff are going to suck wind for endurance. Early on, I tend not to use these kinds of enhancements on these powers because I'm first going for accuracy and recharge and then eventually endurance. Because you don't have a full attack chain yet, and so to close attack chain is when you can always click something because something is always up. And as you see, I've had to wait because something isn't always up. This power doesn't count as part of a closed attack chain because it's just a generic crap power. I'm just talking about the powers that are part of our sets or our if we have a pool attack. For defenses, I always 4-slot toggles, single slot for endurance always, and then triple slot for either defense or resistance because that's the max. After you go over triple, it starts to have very diminishing returns. I do even power selection and even slotting. What that means is for an attack defense character, whether it's defense primary, attack secondary, or attack primary, defense secondary, this is brutes, scrappers, stalkers, tankers, etc., and sentinels. I will always alternate between picking powers from the primary and powers from the secondary, and I usually slot evenly primary, secondary, or 2 in the primary this level, 2 in the secondary next level, and that sort of thing. As we get into the 30s, I usually change that up. If I get close to finishing a power, I might go, okay, I'll throw the 2 slots in it to finish the 6. But you're never going to see me slot this all the way up to 6 without slotting other things. And you're never going to see me slot all the primaries without slotting the secondaries. I know some people do that. It's not going to happen. That's not how I do it. I like things to be even. Let me just move over here so I don't get attacked. Let's go to the security chief because they don't spawn over here. Continuing, pool powers. I tend not to like pool attack and defense powers because I prefer the primary and secondary. That's in theme for my character. The pools are generic. They're not part of the character's theme. Also, pools are always inferior to the secondaries and primaries. So I'm not going to get like air superiority from the flight pool because I'm better off with my attacks in my primary. Things like that, jump kick in super jump, I'm better off with the martial arts or whatever is in my primary or secondary. I always triple slot health and triple slot stamina. I always do it by level 22 so that when I get the SOs, which I know you can get them earlier than that, but historically in City of Heroes you couldn't get them until 22 because you could slot the level 25s, and that was the earliest they gave single origin enhancers. I wanted to have stamina triple slotted and health triple slotted by the time I got SOs, so they will be triple slotted by level 22. I don't care if other people think that I should not prioritize those. I prioritize them. I want that passive regen. I think that if you add up the total amount of passive regen I get from level 22 up by triple slotting those powers, it will dwarf what my individual powers do and stuff like that, just because of how it's always working. I will do DOs until level 22. At level 22, I will switch to SOs. I do not do SOs early on, and if they still had trainers, I would be doing trainers until level 12, because historically in City of Heroes, you could not buy DOs below level 15, and they wouldn't drop until you around level 14 or 15, so you couldn't slot them until you were 12th level. And so the low level, I was always trainers, and I didn't buy trainers, I just took what dropped. So to relive that experience, because I like that experience of the character growing that way, in City of Heroes, I take only what drops until 12th level, and then I buy DOs at 12th for level 15 and at 17 for level 20. I generally do not, in between levels, hit this upgrade button. I will do it at level 17 to upgrade what's already there if I don't want to move things around, but I'm not going to do it at level 16 and upgrade my enhancements from level 15 to 19 or something like that. I do it every 5 levels. That's because that's what they did in the old days. The upgrade button is convenient, but having intermediate level enhancements is of no interest to me. I try to make this game play as much as possible the way it played at launch. That's just me. Nobody else has to do that. Nobody else has to like that, but that's what I like. So hopefully that explains my slotting philosophy and power selection philosophy, and people will be able to understand that without having to ask questions that I won't be able to answer for a month because you're behind on, like, in other words, I'm way ahead of you on what I'm recording. Like, I like questions. I don't mind questions, but I don't want to make you wait for the answers to the questions. And so I would rather try to preempt some of those questions. This is just how I always do it. People who watch my channel don't have those questions, but new viewers who just come into it and are used to playing City of Heroes using the conventional slotting wisdom, sometimes are surprised about my choices. Almost always, the answer to why I'm doing something weird that other people don't do today is because I'm doing it the way it used to be at launch, because I loved this game at launch. Now, there are some things that they've changed since launch that I absolutely adore, but there are also things that I like the way they were at launch, and I'm perfectly happy to keep them that way. Now we need another Hellion. Do I want to go after an orange lieutenant? Why not? We can make him vulnerable. We'll do a little extra damage, a little more accuracy, get some defense. He's not a boss, so he should be alright. Knockback, buddy. So now this is up again. Why not use it again? Because according to the rules, it does not stack. So you can't make him double vulnerable. Alright. So now Davey should talk to me. Oh, he won't call me on the phone yet. Alright. You're welcome, lady. Ma'am. So Duckler Cyclone is already blowing wind at these people with this little jet stream. He's already blowing them around, and hopefully he will have Storm Cell and what is it? Category 5, right? That's a tornado or a hurricane. Category 5, I guess, hurricane. Tornado would be F5. I don't know if they call them Category 5. I think they just call them F5. So Category 5 Cyclone, baby. That's what we're doing. How are we doing on time? 32 minutes. All right, we can do one more mission. Check the warehouse. So let's see. Wow, we have an SO already? Goodness. None of these are of interest, so I'm just going to sell them. Oh, yes. So continuing talking about enhancements and slotting, let's talk about sets. I tend not to buy sets until the 40s. Why? Because I don't think you need them before the 40s. And I don't have any need to do +4 missions when I'm 33rd level. Right? I will get them eventually. It was 47th level, I think, before I got any sets at all for Dark Phantom. That was because I was demonstrating her ability. Gotta remember, I don't have stealth. I was demonstrating her ability to solo without sets through the 40s. Because I had been asked in a comment section where I said Stalkers are great soloers. Do you mean with sets? Are you talking about post 40? I was like, okay, let me show how it's done. I'm not demonstrating that with this guy, so I won't need to wait. One of the things I did was I waited until I could get the merit-based sets from the merit vendor to do any sets at all. I don't need to do that with this guy. I also don't need to only use his influence, so if I want to, I can trade down some influence from Liberty Last or Silver Phoenix or somebody, one of my other level 50s. Mr. Eclipse, who's level 40 and I think has a bunch of influence. I could trade that down to him, and I probably will. So we'll probably start getting sets in the late 30s, maybe, as I start 6-slotting things. But it doesn't, to me, it just doesn't seem necessary to me at all to do sets when you're 25th level. Like, I don't see the need. I know there are people who do it. I don't. Right? I also, before I start putting sets on my powers, I haven't played this character. I haven't played this AT, past level 20. I haven't played this particular set of powers, and I haven't played this character in ever, right? And it's been a really long time since I played ranged. I have no idea how Storm Cell is actually going to work. I've seen it only secondhand from the new girl, as I say, who played with me COH a little bit. So, like, I really don't have a feel for how this character's powers are going to work. I'm not sure what sets I would want on these powers yet, like what I want them to do. Do I want something that increases knockback? I don't know. Probably not, but maybe. So I'm not really sure what I want to put on this character for sets. And I personally need to see how a character plays before I know what sets I want to put on them. And that minimally means getting to at least the early 30s and having not only SOs, but also enough slots that I can start seeing how these 5th and 6th slotted 5 and 6 slotted powers work. Right? Then I'll start to have a feel for what sets I want on the character. So to me, it makes no sense at all to, at least for me, I'm not talking about other people, but it makes no sense at all for me to start doing sets early. Because I'm not even sure how I want to SO slot this character yet. I'm going to have to see how it plays. I'm going to have to see what deficiencies I think it has, what strengths it has, what weaknesses it has, and which powers are my favorites, and which ones I use the most, and which ones I use the least. Right? I can already tell I'm going to love Hailstones because it's awesome. But I don't know what I'm going to do with the other characters. I might decide that this Jetstream isn't so great and I don't want to 6-slot it. Like, we'll just have to see. And so I don't like planning out sets before I have seen how the character performs and how I like what it's doing and how I like the individual powers. Right? I haven't got a good feel for this vulnerability yet, exactly when I need to and want to use it. So we have to see. You know, it's the sort of thing that I'm just going to have to give it a little bit of trial and error. And the trial and error for this character is going to be a lot harder. I mean, Dark Phantom, I didn't have any questions because I had already played exactly those power sets in a Brute. And I had already played multiple Stalkers to level 50. So I kind of knew exactly how I would probably slot her. And they were just questions of a few powers where I wasn't quite sure how they do and what I wanted to do with them. But overall, she was super easy to figure out. This guy is going to be much harder. So I'm not doing any sets. I'm not planning out any sets, deciding on anything like that until I know exactly what I want to do with the character. And that's going to take me at least into the mid-30s. So sets, you may see me starting to get them in the late 30s or around level 40, but you're not going to see them earlier than that. So don't ask, you know, if you can ask whatever you want, but don't wonder when I'm, 15th or 18th or 23rd level or 25th level, why aren't you doing sets? That's your answer. I don't know what I want to do with this character yet. Why don't you go into mids and pines and figure it out? Because I don't use mids and pines. I like to play these characters by feel, not by the numbers. I look at the numbers. We talk about the numbers sometimes. But I like to get the sense of how the character feels to play as I'm going through this process. And I will eventually have a good sense of what I want. But it's going to take me a while. Just like it's going to take me a while to decide exactly what inspirations I need in my tray. Now my guess is it's not going to be too different from a Scrapper or a Stalker or a Brute because it's still an attack primary and a defense secondary, right? But I just have to see, right? And it's going to take a while. It's going to take me some time to figure out what works and what doesn't work for this character for me. Who's attacking me? Again, I'll point out I don't ever make the claim that the way I'm doing it is right for everybody, but it is right for me. It's the way I like to play. It's the way I like to do things. It makes me happy. And the whole purpose of playing this game is to make myself happy. Where is this? Oh, right here. Yeah, I think he might need some kind of a tech jetpack, since he's a tech guy. Let's go ahead and make this guy vulnerable, since this is probably the end of the mission. That cone has a pretty good range. Oh, I guess not. I guess there must be more guys somewhere else. Let's see. Oh, we're very close to 4th level. We will be able to choose another power. That will probably be... Whoops. That will probably be flight, if it lets me. Otherwise, I'll wait till 6. And then we'll get rid of the jetpack. Back up. I like that knockback and how he's like kicking, like he's kicking through the water or something as he goes flying back. That's cool. Yeah, look at him kicking. That's cool. And the last little group of guys. Let's make you vulnerable. Blow you back. There you go. And we've leveled up, guys. Already 4th level with this character. Now, what would be really cool with this, I don't know if there's an alternative animation. What did I miss? Oh, there's a guy over here. If there's an alternative animation of blowing like super breath, like Superman, that would be kind of cool. What is this guy doing back here? You shouldn't be back there, buddy. Little guy. And that's mission complete. Found some enhancements. Oh, wow, a lot. Any of these useful? That's tech. The rest are not. So we're just going to head out and sell. At this point, anything below level 5 isn't worth slotting. Straight up. Yeah, the one thing I could never get the new girl to understand is get out of the mission and just go straight up. Just fly up. Just hit the spacebar and go up. And that gets you away from any aggro on the ground. Almost none of the enemies wandering around a zone like this can fly. Although Clockworks technically can. Okay, we do have a new power set, so do we want that? Fire, cold, and energy as well as negative. I mean, that would be super nice. But I don't think we need it yet. I think we want flight, and we want to fly. And then we can take this off. Oh, and I'm going to have to go to null the gull and get rid of this thing. Where it automatically... So let me show you guys that. How do I get into... I don't think you can get in from here. Alright, so we got to be careful because you can die. And one thing I might do is slot flight a little bit and give it extra speed. Because flight is pretty slow. Like literally sprint is faster. So we're going to go to King's Row. We got to be careful here because everything's going to be purple. But there is a way in. I don't know if there's a way in for Malice Park. I don't think so. But Pocket D. Where is it? There it is. Oh, by the way, this guy's in our supergroup, so he can go to our base. So this thing, fly up as high as possible. This is the safe height. Nobody is going to get you from here. Just stay away from the rooftops. Yeah, I had a lot of trouble with... I never should have had her take flight. I should have advised her to take a character that had super speed or something. And I should have taken teleport so I could teleport her around. Just stay here. I'll teleport you to me. Yeah, she really struggled with it. Alright, so you go to Bucket D. I don't know why it's taking me to Mercedes Sheldon. I don't care about Mercedes Sheldon. Go away. I don't want to go to Mercedes Sheldon. What I want to do is head toward the villain side. And there's this stupid van here. Why this is here and not somewhere else, I don't know. But we come up here. And we land. And we talk to Null the Gull. And what can you do? And we're going to... What is this? Speed buffs. There it is. Disable my pop-up tray. Now it won't pop up. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put flight here for now. I don't know where I'm going to keep it. And then the other thing I wanted to do was show you guys so that you... Well, this is the wrong way, isn't it? I don't feel like I went this far. Which way is the door? I always get lost in here because I don't come in here very often. Oh, we can go straight to Alice Park. Okay, get away from me. Yeah, I always go the wrong way. I almost never come into Pocket D, so I always forget how to get to things. Because I do it like once per character just to go to Null the Gull. So let's see, where did we come out in Atlas Park? I didn't remember where this was, which is why I went to King's Row. But I'm coming out here so we can see it. Okay, so it's right here. Oh yeah, I actually took her there from here. Man, total mind blank there. Okay, so the last thing we're going to do is come into Icon. In case anybody needs to see how to do this, you can alter your costume and you can change your special effects. Now this costs some influence. And we don't have a lot of influence, so I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but I just want to show you how it works. Come in here. We're going to edit our current costume. You can make all whatever changes you want, right? We only have 3,000 influence. What we want to do in flight, and we can only do bright FX. Yeah, we don't want that. Back detail. This might be expensive. Jetpacks. And then we want to see which kind of jetpack we've got. No. Is that the only one? Well, that's unfortunate. Backpacks. Okay. We don't want quivers. Oh, that's kind of cool. I kind of like that. What's this one look like? No. No. That's somewhat cool. No, I don't want the clockwork one. The reactor with FX. I kind of like that. And we're going to change it to the blue color. I like that. So it's sort of like generating his power. Do we want electrical running or cloud and running? I like electric running. That's cool. And then do we have an electric aura? Nah, we don't really need that because he's already got. I like that path aura. But I don't know if I want it permanently around. Maybe not. I'll skip it. Flight. So I want flight to be blue. Blue and white. Yeah, because those are his colors. Doesn't cost anything. I must have a free one. There we go. So we have blue and white flight and an afterburner pack or whatever you want to call it. I think our guy looks pretty cool, guys. Dr. Cyclone. Wearing a Cyclone pack. I like it. And so I think we'll stop here. I hope you guys have enjoyed. We're 4th level. And until next time, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been Soloing the Sentinel on City of Heroes.